of, of synthesis, Dr. Jomaa challenges outdated leadership practices and removes guesswork from culture and team dynamics. He also developed the Rogue coaching model, which pushes beyond traditional coaching methods to give leaders deeper insights into themselves and their teams. So, Dr. Jomaa, we are here, Dr. Tarek Jomaa, we are here, all of us, to raise the bar in leadership and coaching.
Thank you so much. I hope everyone is doing well. And today, since we are a very small group, so we're not going to even bother to do a breakout room. We're going to keep it very intimate between us and then to the topic. Now, before we start, Angela, can I share my screen for the slides?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, because I'm trying now, but I think the option is disabled because I'm not a co-host.
I will just give you the co-host. Okay, you are a co-host now.
Okay, give me a second. Okay, perfect. Can we see my slide somehow?
Yes, we can.
Okay, because from my side, I cannot even see them, but we're going to make it happen. So you can see the slides clearly.
Yes.
It's clear.
It is clear?
Perfect. So let's... Okay,
it is
perfect.
in
So
the
let's jump into...
slides. Sorry, I was just saying it is in the PowerPoint slides, not the slideshow.
Yes, exactly. Because I think if I'm going to go with full slideshow, I'm not going to be able to see them. But if they are big enough, it should be fine.
Yeah, they are big enough.
Okay, perfect. So let me just make this smaller. Are they still good like that or too small?
This is a bit too small.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to have here a small issue. Let me try to see what I can do. Usually I do share in team, which I find that like it's very friendly with their own tools like PowerPoint. Yeah. So let me do that. Is this okay?
This is good.
Okay, let's jump start into it. So thank you, Angela, for this beautiful introduction, and I'm really, really happy to be here today with you guys. Now, before we jump into the topic, I want to stress a lot and underline that the success of this small hour and a half together is based as well on you as much as me. So the more we share in this nice, intimate, confidential space and reflect together, the more we can really see the benefits of this group workshop. So please don't be shy. Let's consider it, all of us, we know what is coaching and confidentiality. I know it's recorded. So if we speak about a certain client, we can keep it anonymous. But let us all be vulnerable and even challenge status quo and together reflect. Now, let's go speed mode. And I would love if each one in 2 minutes can introduce themselves. Name, coaching experience, coaching superpower, and your favorite coaching model. Who would like to start?
May I suggest we put it slightly bigger, please? Because it's
okay.
That's better. Perfect.
Yes, perfect. The issue is gonna
repeat the questions, please.
Okay, so as you can see in the slide, let's in 2 minutes present ourselves, each one in 2 minutes. Name, as you can see on the slide, coaching experience, coaching superpower, and your favorite coaching model. Who would like to start?
I already raised my hand, but I think you cannot see us.
Go ahead. Yes, I cannot see the Muhammad Samir. Just go ahead.
Okay, as Tarek said my name, so I will not repeat it. Okay. My name is Muhammad Samir. My coaching experience started maybe in 2017. I'm a PCC now. Coaching superpower, I cannot say exactly it's a superpower, but I believe that I can gain trust little bit faster than usual.
Mhm.
Favorite coaching model? I'm a little bit like old style. I'm not using a new fancy name, so I'm just working with the normal speed, normal everything. I'm not a car engineer or racing like Tarek, so I'm just normal thing. Thank you.
Are you implying I'm not normal, Muhammad Samir? I'm,
Again,
I'm joking. I'm joking, telling you, are you implying I'm not normal? That's a bit
I
of
believe
crazy.
that I'm not that normal. You know it, me.
I'm joking. Thank you, Muhammad Samir, for that. And I like the idea. So everyone remember about the superpower. So you feel you can build good rapport and gain trust quickly with the client. And that's fantastic. Who would like to go next?
Okay, I will, if I may.
Please, Angela, please.
Okay, so my name is Anjana Lumba, and my coaching experience is just 2 years actually. I am an ACC now, and my coaching superpower is being able to make the coachee comfortable. They find when I'm talking to them, they're very soothing. That's what I've been told. So that's what I'd like to believe. And the favorite coaching model, I usually work with the GROW model.
Okay, I like that as well. It's very important that the client is relaxed, feel comfortable. I love all that. Thank you, Angela. Who would like to go next? Please don't be shy
Right.
and don't let me go. Yes?
I will go next.
Yes.
Hi, Tarek. Hello, everyone. My
Hello.
name is Farzeen, and I have been coaching for the last 5 years. I am a PCC. I think my coaching superpower is the fact that I can connect very easily with people, irrespective of different backgrounds, cultures, ages, etc. I'm able to bring myself to the same page that they are at. I think that's my superpower. My favorite coaching model, there are a lot of coaching models that come to mind. So I think, like Anjana, I use the GROW model. When it comes to certain specific scenarios related to executive coaching, then I use the intelligent coaching model from John Mattone. For executive transitions, I use the double diamond framework from Navay Azemian. So yeah, so I like to experiment with different models depending upon the client and what the client's circumstance and context is. I love exploring different models. Yeah, that's it
I
from me.
like that. The adaptability. Thank you so much, Farzin. I like that.
Thanks,
Thank you so
Tarek.
much. Yeah. Oh, who's next?
I can go next.
Please, Philip.
Okay, my name is Philippe. I've been coaching for the last 14 years. I'm a wellness coach. I only do wellness, and by wellness I mean comprehensive wellness. So I address all issues of an individual, whether for life coaching or executive coaching. So I coach the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual aspects of a person. I am certified by Harvard University as a wellness coach, Harvard Medical School in specifically. I don't follow any precise model. I follow whatever the needs of my client are.
I like that. I like that as well. We go back to adaptability, which is very important as well, instead of being very rigid in one structure. Thank you so much, Philippe, and it's a pleasure meeting you. Who would like to go
Pleasure
next?
meeting you too.
Yeah, I could if no one is. Oh, is
Yes,
that
please.
okay? Yeah.
Yes, Mohiba, please go for it.
Thank you. I'm Mohiba Jamousi, and I've been a coach, what I call a transformational and relationship coach for the past 5 years or so. It's my second career, what I call my second love story. My first love story was a half a century love story when I was a university professor. I loved my career, and I'm so lucky to love my second career. What is special maybe is that I have not lost my whatever I learned during this half century in terms of experience, life experience, expertise, connection with my students, interaction with my students. I'm using all the skills I learned throughout this half century. And I love what I do because I like to think I'm very spiritual. I'm very connected. I love people. I'm not a people pleaser. I'm a people lover. I love being with people. There's always something I can learn from them. And I like to think they can learn from me. I'm a CTI, and in terms of type of coaching, and I am extremely flexible. I go with the flow. I used never to prepare a rigid course. My course used to be very flexible, and my interaction with coachees is extremely flexible. I go with the flow. I go where they take me to and carry me to, and I often say I love dancing, and I dance in the moment, as we say. That's, yeah.
I like. And what would be your favorite coaching model if you're using a specific one?
CTI, co-action.
CTI. Okay, mention it. Yes. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, that's fantastic. I love that, Muhiba. I love that. Thank you so much.
So
Who would
much.
like? Who would like to go next?
I will take the stage.
Yes, please, Badria, please.
Hi, Tarek. Hi, everyone. I'm Badriya. I've been a coach since 2020, before the pandemic. Okay. My coaching style, I'm just learning too many tools and models, but in the session itself, I'm not focused in using one model unless I'm training myself to use it. So as if most of them said here, I just go with the flow. We just dance with the client. So you will be more present. Maybe my most important skill that helped me within the coaching sessions is being present and silence and listening. This is my
Thank you.
empowerment thing. Thank you.
I like that. Thank you so much, Badria. Silence is very important, and still it's underrated when I do coach many leaders. It's very important. Thank you so much, Badria. Who would like to go next? I can see now we're 11 in total, so I can see the number growing. So we're gonna have to speed up here. Who would like to go next?
I managed
You're on mute.
managing these devices. I'm sorry, I was saying I managed to get in. First and foremost, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Tarek. Truly value your time here. Carol Ann Phillips is my name. Coaching experience over at, let's say, 3,000 light bulb conversations. Coaching superpower, what I do believe is a kinesthetic coaching. I love movement when I coach, whether it's me moving, my client moving. So I would like to think bringing creativity to our conversation, making it tactile, making it practical rather than just sitting and talking. I think is my superpower based on the kind of feedback that I get from clients. Favorite coaching model, favorite because it was something that I created, not because I use it a lot. And it's more relevant to internal coaching, and that is the co-creators coaching model, which our CCEs are also, we've got a few programs that are CCE accredited. And it was a model that I created. So that's why it's a favorite. But I won't say that I use it often or I use it a lot, or I prefer it when I am coaching over any other model. And just to also go with what Philippe said, yes, models are good to have in the back of the mind because they keep us disciplined, they keep us structured. But we also need to, so I am all for models because I just think that it keeps us disciplined. But being more true to a model than to a client or a coachee, I think would, if I had to choose between a model and a client, then I'd probably just say the client gets, precedence. So I hope I didn't take too much of time, but thank you.
That was perfect, and we're gonna touch on all those points later at the end. But I loved it. Thank you so much, Caroline.
Thank
Who
you.
would like to go next? I'm gonna start calling names. Come on, Lamia. We didn't hear you yet, Lamia.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
My English is not perfect. I'm more comfortable talking in French and Arabic than English, so I will try. So, excuse me if I make any mistakes.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir, ouais.
Bonsoir. Bonsoir à tous. Bon, my name is Lamia Kis. My experience coaching, it's 3 years. So my coaching superpower, I consider myself as tool, my experience, my knowledge, my coaching tools, my resources, all of me serving my clients. So I am the superpower for my clients. And my favorite coaching model, I don't have one. I use many models.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Yeah.
That's it.
You
Thank
see,
you.
again, I think you're all fantastic, and at the same time ruining the workshop because you're touching on very important points we're gonna say at the end. But I love all that. Thank you so much, Lamia. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you. Merci à vous.
Who would like to go next? Maybe Fatma?
Yeah, okay. My name is Fatma. I have started coaching since 2022. It is almost 2.5 years. I still didn't take the exam for the ACC. I'm a little bit worried to take the exam. I hopefully after Ramadan I will do it. So I will be less stressful after Ramadan. I don't want to panic myself. And I guess my coaching superpower that I'm a very good listener. Maybe that's what get me to coaching from the beginning because I'm a very good listener. And my favorite coaching model, I don't have one. I'm still figuring it out.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Fatma, and best of luck in the exam. I'm sure you're gonna nail it. Yeah. Okay. So if I'm not mistaken, we got everyone to present themselves. Please help me out, guys. Did I miss anyone? Because I can see some people leaving maybe for connection issue. So we can jump into it. Okay. So Anjana, I will need your help because I can see that we are 9 people now. Okay. So I want to create 2 breakout rooms. Now I'm going to be mindful of time because we had to wait at the beginning a little bit. And what I want us to do in 25 minutes, that's very, very, very important. I want you guys in a group of 4 people max. We can make it 5, so 2 groups, 4 and 5, to discuss the following. The most important point is point 1. I want you to think of a challenging coaching situation you had. Ready? Try to reflect, share it anonymously in this confidential space. The challenge, what was it in it situation? What was really challenging you? What was needed in the moment? Anything you can think of. Like take 5 minutes, each one of you, to reflect on it together and share this. If you still have time, which you should, you can jump to the point 2, which is name your to-go coach model, which you already did here a little bit with us, and try to think if it served you in that situation or not. And then you link it to the 3rd point, which is what was the one thing you will have added to that coaching model or will have done differently if you go back in time? Are we all okay on this? I want you guys to go with me on a small reflection journey. We are all experienced. I'm not here to throw at you just theory. I will later on, but I feel it's secondary. It's all about this reflection together. Is the task clear to everyone? Okay. If it's the case, Angela, can you please divide? I think we are 9, so if you exclude me, we're gonna be 8 in total. 2 groups of 4 for 25 minutes. You can make it 20 to speed up a little bit if you want, so we don't rush the rest. And yeah, and let's go. Let's start with this reflection. Remember, the secret is all of us being vulnerable and sharing really something difficult we faced in a coaching session. So, Angela, are you creating the breakout room, or shall I do it myself?
Yes.
Thank you so much. I'm going to put here as well 20-minute now.
Okay. I'll open the rooms. If someone's not, please let me know and I will allocate. It is showing me 6 people.
On my side, I can see we are 9 in total. So it should be 8 without me.
I'll just recreate it. Yeah, okay. And we've given 20 minutes.
Yes, that's perfect, Angela.
There we go. Okay.
Fabulous.
Should I pause the recording?
Yes, you can pause it here.
The resistance, after all, it's less important than, say, being given a speech on, say, leadership. So resistance in the sense that coaching is less important than something else. And again, about resistance, that when you are mandated as what's called mandated coaching, when you are sponsored, so the one who is in charge of sponsoring is not the one who is being coached. And here it's a question of trust. Can I trust this coach who is coaching me? Maybe this coach will go and tell all my secrets and my pains, and that is again resistance. So I've summed up all these situations under the key concept, which is resistance or not trusting the coach, or fearing to give all your secrets, or fearing to believe in the coach. That's basically what I have come up with, listening and delivering my own challenges. So what was missing or needed, as was mentioned, is try to convince the client, the coachee, that there is trust, that there are ethics, that you can open up, you can believe in me, and I will make sure you can be trusted and I can be trusted. That's what I have come up with, and the participants who are with me could maybe correct me if I'm wrong.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mohiba. I love the summary, and it's what you touched on. It's very important, and I faced it myself as well. That resistance or expectations of what is coaching and how much you can build trust before sharing. And we will touch on this as well later on. Who would like to add on what Dr. Mohiba said as well, or a different challenge? Remember, guys, the success of all this work now is based on all of us interacting. Before I start throwing theory at you and some research. Who would like to go next?
Yeah, I will go. I guess we had the same challenge that
Yes.
customers will not listen up easily. Sometimes it would take more than 2 sessions to open up. And the issue where they keep asking us for the advice, although we are telling them from the beginning, coach will not give you an advice, but every time in this session we're facing this issue. What you will do? What is your advice? If you are in my situation, what you will advise? What you will do? So like they are asking advice in an indirect way. So if you are in my situation, what you will do? So
yes,
actually, they are asking for an advice, but indirect way.
Okay. So I like this, and as well, I saw this many times. But you see, this is again the misunderstanding of what coaching is, or sometimes the coachee wanting a quick fix, a quick solution. Like I come, have a few tips from you, I can apply. So I'm hearing resistance, seeking advice. Let's call it the quick fix. Any other challenge that came out in your discussion, guys? Who would like to share?
When the client they don't know what they want. So
Oh,
whenever
that's
we
my
ask
favorite.
them, whenever
Yeah.
we ask them, they will say we don't know. Even sometimes I ask them, what do you know? They will say we don't know. Even they don't know what they know. So I
I'm
guess this,
happy.
yeah.
I'm happy you said this, Fatma. So you see, you do have some coachee that come to you and they don't know what's their goal. Okay. If no one is gonna add anything, I'm gonna start talking a little bit about unfolding the philosophy of the rogue, which I think will not be too new to all of you because you're touching the right points. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of background. Why rogue? So I've been coaching since 2014, you see, but in parallel, not now as a full career and in leadership and so on. But what happened to me once is that when I tried to use the GROW model, and this was after years of coaching and expertise and so on, but I was doing a sort of degree in UK, so I like to follow by the book and go back to the basics. I noticed that I pissed off one of my clients a lot. Now watch out. This client, we had a fantastic transformation. Within 9 sessions, she became a fantastic leader. She became a professor in university and the dean of university. Okay. But the first 4 sessions, when I was focusing on the goal, so what do you want? What's your goal today? What do you like to achieve? By the letter a little bit. I forgot myself as a coach how to blend with a client. And I was following the book a little bit as a very good student. And I could sense the frustration in the client. Like Tarek, like I told you last time, I don't know, I don't have a goal. But what made a big difference was with one question. I was like, after 4 sessions of exploring this. So I told her, think of everything we spoke so far, put them in a box, close your eyes, and if you have to choose one topic that is important, what would it be? So going back to the base of the roots, connecting to someone, connecting with that person, genuinely their reality, and helping them through the confusion. And that question created that ripple effect and domino effect. We talked about assertiveness, which led to her struggle in her women in leadership position, which led to understanding how to develop her style and strategic thinking, and led her in a few sessions to get the job she wants and a promotion. Now, why am I sharing this with you? I do have many other stories I will share with you if I have time. But this made me reflect deeper on what is a student in coaching and what is a coaching model. And the theories about models are a lot. Now, I'm not going to bore you with all the different models. These are some models I wrote in my paper, so you can find them in details, how I link them. But what I want to show you is that, so the GROW model, which you all know, is starting with goal. And sometimes this can be challenging with coachee not having a goal. Now, John Whitmore himself said, you don't need to start with the G. The GROW model can start with any phase within the model. And in fact, this model has been updated by a champion called Law in 2022 by the T GROW, where the T GROW, it means before the goal, let's discuss a topic. So let's stay macro level topic, then we think of a goal, which got me more curious to understand why are we digging this aspect and what is my superpower as a coach, which I can use then to really extend my coaching service, better serve my client more effectively. Then even Law developed the Rogue Win, and that was very interesting because it resonates with my approach, where the Rogue Win literally is flipping the reality as the first phase, as you can see. The Oscar, which you know as well, start with the outcome. So as well, expecting you as a coachee, if you don't have a goal, what is the outcome you want to achieve? Then we talk about the know-how and the action. So there's always a goal, a desire, and an action. You have the clear model, which I like because it talks about contracting with you, then focusing on listening, which I relate with reality, exploring, if you look at those two phases, and then an action. Then you have the cigar model, which as well the Rogue is very inspired by it, because I like the fact of exploring the current situation of your coachee, which is a reality again. So focus with me, I'm challenging the aspect of goal. Then imagining with the client what is the ideal phase they want to reach and what is the gap. Now, blending all this, I wrote in the paper many research how they are challenging those different aspects in coaching, which you can find them in the paper, but I wanted to share quickly here. So there is an issue, which is the coachability bias. So you mentioned to me, some coachee come to us, they don't know what they want, you see? And there is a paper by Palmer in 2011 that says that actually some coachee might come with fuzzy problem and unclear goal. And this can challenge many models like the Grow, where you expect your client to have a specific goal, well determined, they know what they want, or at least an idea, a clear idea. But me, I had many clients who actually came to me after they struggled in money coaching because of that. You also have a research that talked that the clarity of goal, look at the first one here, I want to put it even in bold, the clarity of goals is one of the main factor a coach uses to determine coachability. And I wanted to challenge that with my Rogue model, that the way we assess coachability in a client many times is based on this clarity of goals. And as well, a third research, so one of the few in my paper as well, is that I love this one. So that coaching model, like that puts smart goals, so similar to the approach of what's your goal, the action, what we're gonna do, can pressure your client to put artificial or coach-pleasing goals. So you can have those clients that would just put a goal to please you, they might not do it, or even if I achieve it, they are not fully committed to it. So please remember this. One challenge of the current models is the coachability bias. There is another pack of research as well included, is the role of unconscious pattern. So I'm speeding a little bit here, guys, so I can open some reflection at the end. But please don't hesitate to stop me at any point. Most models ignore irrational and unconscious behavior. And this for me was the fundamental when I created my coaching model, the Rogue model, is the fact that many times ignoring the irrational or unconscious drive will lead you to coach your client on surface level goals, which even if achieved is not sustainable, and the same problem will resurface again. It's not the case for everyone, so I'm not stereotyping. I'm just talking about usually, you know how we say, someone comes to you from time management issue, then you dive deeper, you discover they have a people-pleasing attitude. And this is why they take on board a lot of things, for example. Another research as well talked about the hidden conflict, there you go, I just mentioned, compared to the surface level. And another research as well talks about the repetitive pattern. So if you recognize in your client and that's famous from the Gestalt approach in coaching, which I love, the thinking pattern and behavior pattern, this is where you can really have an impact. So even with a coachee resisting a lot and saying no, there will be a pattern they follow, how they present the thing, how they resist, where they are looking for sort of trust and reassurance, where they are testing you, and so on. Again, it's easier to talk than apply. I know that. Third set of research, okay, that I want you as well to shed some light on, is exactly what I mentioned at the beginning. So a broader holistic approach is often needed when setting goals. So it cannot just focus on, well, I want to become better at time management, okay? It's good, but let's understand what are the current issue in your time management. What do you think they're coming from? How this problem started, and so on. What is the holistic approach, okay? Like I shared with you earlier, the grow has been reinvented to become the rogue win, starting with reality. And Passmore in 2013 as well talked about, which is what you mentioned at the beginning, that a step-by-step model will limit your coaching ability to explore freely with the client. That's what I loved about this. Now, I created a rogue model not to reinvent the wheel or to be a pioneer in coaching at all. No, I wanted to create more of a philosophy of coaching, okay, rather than a rigid model, which can help coaches, like it helped me, in a relaxed way to really explore their client and use their superpower in the you phase, the understanding phase. Now, let's start exploring the rogue model. It's very simple. From my coaching experience, I discovered that you need to start with reality. Now, I'm saying you need, it doesn't apply to everyone, but what I found out is that when you take your time exploring reality of your client, you will reduce your chances of recontracting. So before even the goal, understanding your client is coming to you, why they are here today, what brought them to you today, what do they want from coaching, even if they don't know, why they are showing up, even if their boss forced them. Okay, perfect. Your boss forced you. You are here. How can we make this time useful? Is there anything positive we can really get out of it? Understand the reality. Put them in a mood to understand really. So even if this is not what you want, it doesn't mean we cannot make something out of it. I had a client who came to me the first session, very pissed off, right away, like that. My boss forced me to come here. You see what I mean? It's because he called the client and told them, like anonymously, I'm telling you without names, your idea is stupid. So right away, the company said, you need some coaching, and they brought him to me. He didn't want, but one session, and then he fell in love with the coaching. And then he promoted to a manager and so on. But to break that resistance, I had to really understand now, first of all, your frustration. What made you think the client idea is stupid? So really their reality, even if for me, that's not the point of the coaching, but it's really trusting your client and then understanding, okay, perfect. So where do you think your managers are right and where they are wrong? And then from there, bridging the gap to move forward. But reality for me is a must. With some clients, it took me 5 sessions just exploring reality. And then in one session, we achieved the goal they want and stopped the contract. And I remember they told me, Tarek, I'm really sad that I wasted 5 sessions to know what I want. But I was like, you needed them to know what you want today. So without too much exploring reality, this is where I jump to the phase O. And it's important that you as a coach, you stay relaxed and not feel pressure to choose what next need to happen. Your coachee might have options. Imagine a CEO that came to me once. I have 2 options, Tarek. From the beginning, I know. I have a merger, or I accept the merger, and my company will thrive. This is a bigger partner. But the issue is I will lose on the impact of the culture I have currently, or I refuse the merger, preserve my culture, but there might be some struggle and lay off financially. Some people has right away options. Perfect. This is where the rogue takes you to the option route. And then from that, you can delve deeper and then with them fix a goal. So perfect, you have those 2 options. We explore the reality, we explore the option. I'm making it mechanic here, but it's not like that. Now, what's the goal? Is it the goal understanding what option is best? Or is there a preference, but how can we make it work? However, some client might come to you and they don't have options. They might just have a desire, an outcome. I have clients, I want to be a better leader. Okay. It doesn't translate to anything. It's very abstract, but it's perfect. What makes a better leader? Where are you today? This is where you jump from the outcome to the gap. So following the cigar model approach, which is that's your reality, that's the desired outcome, and what's the gap in between, and how we can really bridge that gap. Now, the strength of the rogue model is the you phase. It doesn't matter if you went with road 1 or road 2. is the understanding. And this is where I do spend most of my time to really challenge the coachee, link back to the reality, and understand exactly for myself and for them if where we are heading is the correct way. And this is the phase where you can use a superpower. Like, I didn't have the time to say my superpower, but I can be very annoying. I'm saying it in a funny way. My superpower is to challenge the status quo and be devil advocate, for example. And that's what I use a lot. If you're a very good listener, that's what you can use. Empathetic, you use it. Great questioning, you use it. What I noticed in the understanding phase, which is all anyway blending naturally without the rigid structure, is that a question can make a big difference. And I want to share another example with a client I had. So I'm coaching currently a big director in a big firm in Canada, and he's having an underperforming staff. And forget the pattern, forget the details. Long story short, what he wanted to do to manage that staff, and we were going through it, reality, the desired goal, and so on, was to even control their emails, because he was believing that they are not doing everything they need to do and they are lacking a lot behind. It was one question that shifted the whole conversation in the understanding phase. I told him, what if you have 5 people like this one underperforming? What will you do? Right away, he took a step back. He stayed silent for 5 minutes. Literally, I was counting on the clock. Okay. And he flipped 180. Because you made him aware that micromanaging, especially in that way, is not the solution. It might work now because you have only one underperformer in a team of 20. What if you have 5 like this person? And even after finishing the session and leaving, that's the only thing he told me. I'm going to remember this for next time if I have 5 like this person. And then suddenly the reality changed. And what he's going to do, he's going to meet with that person and he's going to really try to understand what did they finish last week in the tasks, what was missing, where he can give feedback, and what strategy he can offer to support. So I can give you many more examples like that. But what I noticed in my career, if you spend that time on understanding properly the client and make them understand themselves, you will uncover different patterns. And I will share with you a short video, which for me is amazing. And I can give you the full TED talk about it. It really describes what I do. And I was so happy when I found it. And it's going to say it much better than what I do. Let me play the video. And I hope. But you might not have the audio like that. I guess you cannot hear the audio. Can you?
No video.
Sorry for the ads.
No audio, yeah, no audio.
Seriously. Seriously. Are you hearing the audio or not?
No.
Maybe you can share the link later.
I will do that. I will share the link later, okay? That was my plan B. It's fine. So what Peter Sage is saying in this TED Talk, which I love, and I did publish a LinkedIn on the 5th anniversary of the talk, is that like any coach can coach you on some time management skills, but you're tackling the superficial problem. And what you want is a coach that will dive deep in you, okay? Take those patterns that you have and rip them out for good once and for all. And he used an expression that I use myself and I love. And this for me is the way I introduce our company to new clients, our work as for individual or team or complete organization. It's in one simple thing is that we look at all of you, including ourselves, as ants. not in a diminishing way, in the hardworking way. You see, take an ant, it's hardworking, it's dedicated, it fixes goals, objectives, and it walk towards them. That's what we all do in our life, your client and yourself. Except that this ant represents your conscious mind. Okay? So it might be marching north towards your objective that you are designing every day, but on the back of an elephant heading south. And the elephant for us is the unconscious mind. These are the pattern, the self-limiting belief that you might have, okay, that are stopping you. And the message I'm trying to get here is that it doesn't matter if you do 20 steps ahead in a coaching session or even personally in your life, if you are walking in the opposite direction of your elephant, which is one step will take you 20 back, even more than 20. The message is not to steer the elephant in the right direction. The message is, as funny as it is as coaches, is to point out the elephant in the room, make our client and ourselves aware of that elephant. Sometimes we can shift that elephant a little bit, but sometimes we have to accept the force majeure and maybe adjust and adapt based on the elephant. And I would like to share a story with you, and then I'm going to close here for any question. So sorry, I had to run a little bit. The workshop, usually I go more exchange, reflection, but I really wanted to give you everything I can in an hour. So I had a client. I will have to be very careful on the details because you'll be able to spot him. He's a very high achiever professor, okay? Another professor, not the first one that I thought about her. And he came to me because he was not sleeping. So he was for 7 years sleeping maybe 3 hours per day. He's very hardworking and a high achiever. And the things he has done in his life, I think he was one of the youngest professor in the UK, still achieving a lot, internationally recognized, knock on wood, Smallah. And during our rogue coaching, what came out, and it's really funny, so I'm taking a pause for that a little bit, funny like in a beautiful way, is that all his career was based on something they told him at the age of 18, which is, you will never be a doctor, you will never make it. He built all his career, which is very successful, as a very dedicated ant, based on that frustration, which he shared with me. And we are very good friends. There is no wrong in the story. It's a very successful career, but it was followed for the wrong reasons. And understanding that together helped him change things. He has a family now, he got a child, work is no more priority, he reduces hours, he's more happy. He was sharing with me on his, whatever we call them, smartwatch, how much he's sleeping better, and so on. Now, it's not because of the rogue being magic. I'm not trying to brand the rogue here. It's because of taking the time sometimes when you recognize a pattern or a trigger in a person and you take the time in the understanding phase. This is where you can make real, powerful transformation. And this is where you jump to the last phase of the model, which is evaluation. So the E, or effectiveness, where you as a coach, you really try to evaluate how the coaching session went, so through the client, but also how the client will commit. So this recalls many other models, like the grow with the will for next time, or what to do next, or like the clear model, the review is how your coachee will ensure they do what they said. But the most important thing is really focusing on those patterns. Now, I will not drag it any time longer. I will be happy to hear a reflection, anything you'd like to share, reflection, question. Let's have these 12 minutes left to get to know each other from the coaching angle. Any question? Any reflection, if not question?
So, Dr. Tarek, thank you. Really, thank you for introducing us to the rogue model reflections. And I'm just being difficult here, if that's okay with you.
Yes, please.
So, I'm just curious with the rogue, would we be, because I saw gap, G for gap. So,
Yeah.
as coaches, do we always work with deficits? Are we always thinking there's a deficit? So I'm curious, how can we in this model, because oftentimes I don't it could be a strength that we want to work with, but when I'm saying G for gap, I know you've put goal on the other side, but hmm. So what I was feeling was, are we getting into uh, a conversation with the rogue model, assuming or presuming that the coachee is working with a deficit? That's one thought that came my way, but I'm sure there's a workaround. Another thing is the understanding part of it. Um, would I, as a coach working with this model, be caught in a trap of over-analysis with the coachee or with the client? So just these two reflections came through, but I know it's not like an answer or a challenge, and I'm curious, how do I process that in a way that's not one of these?
Your questions are fabulous. Let's unpick them one by one, okay? And thank you really for sharing that reflection. So, first of all, help me understand what triggered for you the idea of deficit. I know it's the word gap, but if I tell you, rephrase for me, what makes you think about deficit in this case?
So reality, what do you want out of it right now,
Yes.
which is pretty much the goal. So what's the gap there?
Yes. Okay.
Whereas I'm looking at, there isn't a gap. It's because the G says gap that I am kind of, swayed to think, am I as a coach getting in with thinking there's a deficit that I need to work with the client? How does this model allow for, I'm just visualizing the model. That's all that I'm doing. I know it's.
No, it's amazing. And I ask you this so we can together reflect while the other hear us. So I'm not putting you on the spot. I love it.
Goal
But I will tell you,
works.
yeah.
Goal works.
Yes.
Although the goal is so flogged, really, and like you said
Yeah.
at the beginning, not everybody has clarity on the goal. It takes a lot of work to even get to that goal. Frankly, the moment they have clarity on a goal, they won't need us, really. Half our work is to give them clarity on that goal, because then they're motivated on their own to achieve it. So for me, the goal seems to, I'm a little with the G for gap. That's all.
Yes. Yeah. No, I will add on this. I'm reflecting with you actively here. I'm not trying to fabricate an answer, okay?
Not at all, yeah.
For me, the way I see gap is not a deficit, meaning that, so you might be very happy where you are, but there is a state you have an ambition for, and the gap is just like, what are the stairs to get there? So you see what I mean? So it doesn't mean because it's a stairs going up, I am lower deficit. No, it means actually it's an ambition, and I will be okay not to achieve it. So which I had in some cases, and I know what you mean, how the gap can trigger. So I will tell you an example. Many of my clients, they come to me and they want to do an impact. You see, it's the trending word. I want an impact. Oh my God.
Return on impact. It's no longer return on investment. They talk return on impact. Yeah.
But I had a big director from Barilla, and we had to dive deep in the gap. So what does impact mean to you? Help me understand. And you know what happened? She went away. She researched in the dictionary what impact mean, and she discovered that actually it can mean accident or something negative because it's the high intensity in a short event. And she came along and said, I don't want that. So actually, I understand what impact is, but it's the fluffy word of, you see, being immortal somehow. يعني, you see what I mean? And sometimes the word guide us in a way what we think about it. So, but the gap here, literally, it might be pure positivity. So I am rich. I want to be richer because maybe I want to build 2 schools, let's say in UK or in Lebanon. How can I go there? It doesn't mean I'm deficit, I'm not happy. So I hope it made sense for this
Thank you.
point.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I
But
think
I
it's
love
just the
that.
semantics of it all that was in my head. But
Yes.
so it was an honest reflection that I shared with you, and I totally am with you on how to look at it as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, I love that. No, let's unpick the second point if you want as well, Caroline. So the understanding as well, I love what you said, and that's a trap we have to be careful of. But let's try, if you want to draw a line in the sand and say, here I'm starting to overanalyze, what would it be? So in other words, when is enough? How can we know that? So I will tell you an example. It's hard, but again, like you say, it depends on your client. When you are committed to the client, the understanding phase is just a phase. That's what I do. And I will tell you an example of real overanalyzing, but help us solve a coaching situation with a client. So I had a client, he came to me for stress management, long story short. Okay. And he was all the time stressed because his manager, based on what he told me, every 2 days changed the schedule and they need to jump on different things and do different things, see a client, design this and that. And it was impossible to understand, okay, actually, where the stress is coming from. I understand your manager is changing things, but what is the real issue here? We had to dive deep for him to give me feedback that my coaching is not structured, okay? Which I took to my supervisor, actually. I was reflecting on that, but wait a minute. I mean, I do have a structure. I'm not rigid in structure, but what made him see that? And actually, we discovered that he is not able to visualize structure in the way we do. So for him, even the manager, the way that manager scheduled for him things, he cannot see it as structure. So maybe for him, if the manager gives 3 days to do something, it's not enough. He needs 5 or a complete week. And this is where we solved the gap and even closed the contract 1 session earlier. But we had to a little bit dive deep to understanding his perception of structure, which will have never come out if we just focused on, okay, stress management, what are you doing? Can you breathe to calm yourself? And so on. These are effective, slow, quick fix. But the unconscious pattern and perception is the slow burn that will really drive true transformation.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Doc. I value that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we're happy to carry on another conversation, Caroline. I love the reflection and thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Any other question, guys? Please, reflection, whatever comes to your mind. Really, everything is appreciated.
Yes. Thank you, first of all, Tarek, صراحة. It was really, really very interesting. Although I was not in I missed like maybe half an hour, but it's really interesting topic. I'm very interested in cultural issues in coaching related to coaching. So I was just thinking how we could address cultural aspects in applying this model. And I think I'm sure you know that each community has different culture, and sometimes we need extra time or extra session to just first of all understand the culture of my client in order to be very client-centered in my process in coaching. So I was just wondering how we could address this aspect of cultural issues in this model.
So yeah, Majida, I will rephrase. So your question is, how can we address the cultural aspect? So let's say based on the country or different region geographically in the model when we are coaching a client. And did I get it right? Okay. Perfect. It's a beautiful thing, and it's my strong suit, and there is no black and white answer. So, I do coach in French, Arabic, Italian, English. So I do coach internationally, from Europe to USA to even the Middle East. And again, the culture is very different. And I will give you an example, even work culture, for example. So when I coach in the UK, I know that my coachee can ask much more from their employer compared to Italy. So they can challenge the employer and say, look, I'm tired, I need a sick leave, and the employer cannot say no. You see, I'm aware of that culturally, how the work is here and the dynamic. In Italy, you'll get fired if you say this, if you don't have a very valid reason. So I'm making it black and white. Of course, I lived in Italy and I know the system and so on, but I'm making the extreme on purpose. But also it's different. The feedback in UK, for example, is very nice, rounded edges, fluffy, with maybe a message in between of sandwich constructive feedback. While in Italy and France, when I'm coaching there, they will throw it in your face as it is. And even actually, they were not going to say the beautiful things easily. But again, okay, I lived in all those countries, but the strength and understanding the culture is really, again, taking the time of exploring the reality. So let's say, for example, when I had my first coachee from Italy, okay, right away, I was about to be biased and switch to my assumption of how it is the work in UK. But I stopped myself right away. I was like, so tell me, how is the work in your company? What are the rules, the challenges? So the more you understand actually your employee or coachee even inner conflict, because they might tell you, look, I'm so tired, but I'm sure if I ask for a leave now, I'm going to get fired or something like that. You start getting more context to build on and then adapt your style for the culture. At the end, the way I look at coaching is that the foundation are the same, whatever is the language. Good listening, empathy, good questioning, and unconditional support. So I know it's not a black and white answer, Majida, but it's really reality understanding.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you. The other thing also, could you share the references which you shared previously in the previous slides? Can we get them? I'm very interested to read the references which you shared in some before.
Okay. Okay, I don't know what happened with my audio. Can you repeat? Because I think I didn't hear much. Wait, but should I give me a sec? Because my clock here is not stopping. What's happening here? Really sorry for that. I had the clock for the time, and apparently now it's not stopping to ring, so I can barely hear you. Everything is going wrong with the technology today.
I was just asking, you shared in previous slides some studies. Is it possible to just have these studies? I'm very interested. Just we can read that study. Yeah.
Yes, you mean the slide of my article paper?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I will tell you, my article is published in the BPS, British Psychology Society in UK. And what I do usually, because I have a deal with them that I can only share it for learning purpose, so I do have the ICF Rogue workshop, which involved giving the article as well and the one-on-one supervision.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But I can share the slides definitely. I can give you the slides if you want, Majida. And I will definitely also, in the slides, you're going to have the link to the video I talked about as well.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
Any other question? This alarm clock is not stopping.
Okay, just I have some question.
Yeah.
I have of my client. She want a session. But when I ask her what the goal you want to put, she say I don't know. She's happy. She's happy in her job. She's happy in her family. I don't have any problem, but I feel something missing. So to use the model, how I can solve her problem?
Oh, that's a beautiful one. And it's like here we're going to go in a coaching session. But look, on the top of my head, again, remember, all coaching is based on the same thing. So for me, I did have clients like that. If they come to me like this, everything is perfect. The first thing that comes to my mind, so what brought you today to the coaching? Now, you mentioned to me that she feels something is missing. Now, my question for you is, how can we explore what is triggering that feeling of something missing? So you see, you have different technique. So I don't want to be too mechanic, but to explain a theory, for example, you have positive psychology. You can ask the miracle question. So if you wake up tomorrow and everything is perfect, describe to me the day, how it will go. You see, from you taking the coffee to maybe going to your job or your business or anything. And then from there, you can start picking using your superpower, if it's even body language of a person, how they're going to light up when you talk about something, or even specific event they mention or they emphasize, to understand, okay, perfect, in that perfect vision, what is it? And then bring them back to the reality. Okay, so now compared to today, on a scale 1 to 10, how close are we to that? So you see, there's different technique, but I will take my time to really explore what is triggering that something is missing.
That you mean to ask direct question, or what is can you explain more, please?
Sorry, tell me again, what was not clear? So there is no specific question to ask.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm trying to stop this alarm, which is going on nonstop. But I will say I will explore the reality deeper. So for me, when your client is telling you, for example, I feel something is missing. So what have you tried to ask her, and what did the client answer, for example?
I tried to ask a lot of questions. So why you are here, and let us discuss about your work, your family. And at the end, I feel that I am in track. I don't know what to do. So I say, maybe I cannot help you. I can advise you to another coach.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't go, but I want to know if I am in the same situation again, what to do.
Okay, perfect. Now, I know you're summarizing to me, so it's not maybe the way you were coaching, okay? But if I have to imagine, so you see, if I try to ask her a question, work, family, everything, so am I correct assuming that you are already making assumption of certain area to ask her about, and then this client is directly telling you, no, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, everything is perfect here, 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 here.
Yeah. I make the ring, the word, the ring of life, so to see where the gap. But I couldn't find where the gap, because everything she say 99, 59. I am okay with this. I don't want to change.
Okay, I will teach you this. Then I know we're mindful of time. I don't want to take more of your time. This is why I love the understanding phase in the rogue model, which is where you use superpower and understanding pattern. There is a psychologist called Eric Berne. I don't know if you're famous or you know this guy. And he talks about the games. And you can research it. I did have some posts I talk about them. So I'm going to write in the chat for who is interested to research. So Eric Berne, the games. And what he means by the games, okay, is the game that we unconsciously play with each other without knowing. So to make it quickly, I will give an example of a manager, and then you alone, you will reflect on your client you had. So you have a manager that I, his employee, go to him right away. I'm telling him, look, I'm going to say, Fatma, you're my manager. Look, Fatma, what I have to do doesn't work. It's not going to work. So you see, so I am starting the game unconsciously. As soon as Fatma starts to propose to me things, she's entering the game. Okay, this transaction, this game of like, Tarek, have you tried one? I will answer, yes, but it's not going to work because blah, blah, blah. But have you tried this? It's not going to work because of blah, blah, blah. So you see, we're playing an unconscious game here, psychologically. We will reach a state where Fatma, my manager, will feel hopeless. She cannot help me. Tarek, I give you everything I have. It doesn't work. And me, I will feel helpless. So I will go away with my answer, which I was looking for in reality, that I'm always alone, it doesn't work, no one helps me. And what Eric Berne says is, how can you break the game? You see, good leaders, I wrote an article about this in the past, like good leaders understand the game and don't play it. So Fatma should have asked me, for example, something, instead of entering in suggestion mode, but wait a minute, Tarek, you faced different situations in the past like that, and you excelled in them. So what's different this time? What's the issue? And maybe you will discover through the talk that what Tarek wanted is some recognition in reality and a tap on the shoulder rather than exploring with you solution. So think about your client that you mentioned to me, and maybe it's about actually asking them, did your coachee ever had that feeling in the past of something is missing? Or when that feeling started? It might give you, so you see again, it's really going in the understanding phase. When did the feeling start? Did the client face this in the past? If yes, is there a pattern or a trigger? And so on. So we can talk for hours. I'm happy to, if you want one-on-one, to really dive deep into this, because it's very interesting for me and it's a big part of my work.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you. We've taken so much of your time and we don't want to go on with that because I know that some of them are here and it's past 8:14 now. I would quickly like to request the ICF Oman chapter Vice President Badria Al-Khafi to give a quick vote of thanks.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for that, Anjana and Caroline. Today, actually, we were very happy. It was a very informative session, Dr. Tarek. It really gives us a new direction or a new vision to our coaching sessions. It's not only about our client, it's also about ourselves as coaches, how to think, how to manage, how to manage ourselves from inside out, so we can make, at least, as you said, that impact. Thank you everyone for coming, and we wish that you are staying with us today, and we hope that you will also continue to be with us. Thank you all.
Thank you, Badria. I have shared a link for all the participants to please share your feedback. And I know the marketing and PR chair is eagerly waiting to give her an opportunity to take a picture for her social media handles.
So we want a group photo?
Yes, please.
In 3, we all smile and say cheese. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you once again, Dr. Tarek Jomaa. It was a pleasure having you with us, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone,
Thanks,
for
Doc.
attending.
Thanks so much.
If I can just
Looking
add
forward
one
to
thing.
connect.
Thank you.
I will happy to connect with anyone. If you love to give me a small review or reflection about this tiny workshop, please get in touch with me. I'm trying to spread more awareness among the rogue. Ramadan Kareem. Have a lovely evening, guys.
Thank you. Ramadan
Kareem
to everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye, everyone. Good night.
Bye.
Thank you
See
for
you all.
joining.
Thank
Bye
you.
now.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.